Rejoice in the Lord always. Again, I will say, rejoice. Philippians chapter 4, verse 4. This invitation to joy resonates deeply in our hearts, especially in difficult times. Life, with its ups and downs, often places us in front of challenges that may seem insurmountable. However, joy is a choice we can make every day, even when the clouds of sadness attempt to envelop us. It is common to feel overwhelmed by worries, anxieties, and fears. These emotions can become an internal battle that, if not addressed, leads us into a cycle of negative thoughts and pain. So how can we keep our minds focused on what is good and true, even when sadness tries to take over? The answer lies in directing our gaze towards something greater, something that uplifts and inspires us. We remember the wisdom found in Ecclesiastes, chapter 30, verse 22. Do not let your soul be consumed by sadness. Do not torment yourself with your thoughts. The battle we fight daily begins in our thoughts. When we choose to focus on what is noble and true, we start to see life through a new perspective. Therefore, I invite you to reflect on this. What occupies your thoughts at this moment? It is time to make a conscious choice to seek the joy offered to us with each new dawn. Let us open our hearts and allow hope, gratitude, and light to fill our thoughts, even in the darkest hours. This is the time to unite in search of peace and renewal. We live in a world where sadness and worries can easily overwhelm us. Each day brings new challenges, and we often find ourselves struggling against thoughts that pull us down. It is essential to remember that even amid these battles, we have the power to choose what will occupy our minds. The wisdom of the ancients teaches us not to let sadness take control. And this is exactly what we find in Ecclesiastes. In chapter 30, verse 22, we read, Do not let your soul be consumed by sadness. Do not torment yourself with your thoughts. This passage reminds us that sadness should not be our destiny. It is a clear warning about the negative impact that heavy thoughts can have on our lives. Each of us has experienced moments when sadness seemed to engulf us, making us prisoners of our own minds. The battle we face often starts within us, where negative thoughts can become a vicious cycle that pulls us away from joy and peace. It is important to understand that just as sadness can consume us, the choice to focus on positive thoughts is also in our hands. The message in this verse emphasizes the importance of not feeding sadness, but of seeking a path that leads us to hope and renewal. This does not mean ignoring pain or difficulties, but rather deciding not to let them define who we are. Today, more than ever, we face issues that can leave us distressed. The stress of daily life, the uncertainties of existence, and concerns about the future can create a breeding ground for sadness. Therefore, it is essential that we turn our gaze toward what is true and noble. In doing so, we begin to transform our reality. The act of focusing on positive thoughts is like a light that dispels the darkness of sadness. When we reflect on the struggles we face, we can remember that there is always an alternative. We can choose to be grateful for the small daily blessings, such as a friend's smile, the song of birds at dawn, or even the beauty of a sunset. These small things can help redirect our thoughts and distance us from sadness. Gratitude is a powerful tool that allows us to see life in a new way. Moreover, as we concentrate our minds on uplifting thoughts, we begin to realize that we are much stronger than the adversities we face. Often, the greatest battle lies within us, and the true victory is achieving the peace that comes from a heart that chooses joy. Just like David, who faced giants, we need to remember that even when everything seems lost, we can find strength and courage in our faith. Therefore, in the face of the challenges life presents us, let us seek help to not be carried away by sadness. May we always remember that we have the power to choose what will occupy our minds and hearts. May we cultivate joy even in difficult times, and may this become a daily practice in our lives. With this choice, we can transform our inner selves and, consequently, our outer world. May this reflection inspire us to embrace hope and renewal, always seeking what is good and true. Lord, at this moment, I come before you with an open and sincere heart. I acknowledge that many times I have allowed sadness to settle in my mind and heart. I confess that amidst the struggles of daily life, I let fears and worries dominate my thoughts, distancing myself from the joy that you invite us to live. Help me to understand that the true battle takes place within me, and that I am responsible for directing my thoughts toward what is noble and true. I thank you, Lord, for the blessings that I often overlook. I am grateful for the sun that shines each morning, for the opportunity to breathe, and for every small detail that brings joy to my day. I also thank you for the people around me who support and encourage me. Help me to appreciate these moments, to recognize the beauty that exists even in difficulties. I ask you, dear Father, to help me not to surrender my soul to sadness. May I learn to deal with the worries and anxieties that arise in my life in a way that does not torment me with my own thoughts. May I remember the words found in Ecclesiastes chapter 30, verse 22. Do not surrender your soul to sadness. Do not torment yourself with your thoughts. May this passage resonate in my mind and guide me in the most challenging times. Lord, I offer you my worries and fears. I hand over the situations that distress me, such as work pressure, uncertainty about the future, and the anxiety that often consumes me. Help me to transform each worry into an opportunity for growth and learning. May I look at each challenge as a chance to draw closer to you, seeking the strength that only you can provide. Today, I make a plea for all those facing similar internal battles. For those who feel alone in their pain, who cannot see the light at the end of the tunnel, may your peace envelop them. May they find in you the strength needed to overcome adversity and the courage to choose joy, even amidst the storm. Lord, as I face the giants of life as David did, may I remember that I am not alone. May I rely on your help. In the face of difficulties, may I not hesitate to cry out to you. May the certainty that you are by my side give me the courage to move forward, even when everything seems to crumble. May I seek in you the true peace that surpasses all understanding. I ask you, Lord, to help me cultivate a grateful heart. May I choose day by day to focus on what is good and true, recognizing that joy is a decision I can make. May I spread this joy around me, infecting those who cross my path. Grant me the wisdom to perceive the small blessings that surround me and the discernment to ward off negative thoughts that insist on tormenting me. Help me to remember that the greatest battle is in the mind, and that by choosing to focus on you, I strengthen and renew myself. Amen. When we think of challenges and internal battles, the story of Elijah, the prophet, can offer us a powerful and relevant perspective for today. Elijah faced moments of great discouragement and depression, even after performing extraordinary feats by faith. In 1 Kings chapter 19, we find Elijah fleeing from Jezebel, who had threatened his life after the defeat of the prophets of Baal. In this moment of vulnerability, he found himself alone, helpless, and even wished for death, saying, "It is enough. Now, O Lord, take my soul, for I am no better than my fathers." 1 Kings chapter 19, verse 4. This passage reveals an often overlooked aspect. Even men and women of faith face deep emotional battles. Elijah, who had seen God's power in action, felt overwhelmed by sadness and loneliness. It's easy to identify with his pain. Like Elijah, we all face moments when life's pressures seem unbearable, and sadness feels like the only response. However, what happens next in the narrative is surprising and brings us valuable lessons. After his despair, Elijah took refuge in a cave, where he had a transformative encounter. The Lord did not reveal himself in a great wind, nor in an earthquake or fire, but in a gentle whisper. 1 Kings chapter 19, verse 11. This revelation teaches us that often, God's presence is not manifested in great and extraordinary experiences, but in the small and subtle. It is in moments of silence and reflection that we can hear his voice and find the peace we so desperately seek. The lesson here is clear. Even when we feel at rock bottom, there is hope to be found in a personal encounter with what is sacred. Elijah received instructions from God on how to continue his mission. Like him, we are called to lift our heads, to rise again, and to move forward, even when sadness tries to overwhelm us. The Lord not only restored Elijah's courage, but also reminded him that he was not alone. There were still thousands who remained faithful, even in difficult times. This message is especially relevant in our days, where many feel isolated and discouraged. We need to remember that sadness is not a final destination. Like Elijah, we can find strength in God and in the community around us. It is essential that we support one another in times of difficulty, encouraging each other to focus on noble and true thoughts. When we face our own giants, it is essential to seek the strength that comes from faith. Elijah's story shows us that even in the darkest hours, we can find a way back to joy and hope. If we allow the small blessings, like a smile, a word of encouragement, or an act of kindness, to remind us of what is good and true, we can transform our reality. Thus, as we reflect on Elijah's journey, may we draw inspiration from his struggle and victory. May we remember that even when challenges seem insurmountable, we have the ability to choose joy and to seek God's presence in our lives. May this choice lead us to a place of peace, where we can find renewal and strength to continue. The message we reflect on today invites us to choose joy, even amid the difficulties life imposes on us. It is a powerful reminder that the true battle takes place in our minds, and that we have the power to direct our thoughts toward what is noble and true. As we have seen in the stories and teachings we shared, sadness does not have to be our destiny. Just as David faced giants and Elijah found hope in a gentle whisper, we too can find strength and renewal in our faith. Throughout our daily lives, we are often bombarded by worries and anxieties that try to overwhelm us. However, by making the conscious choice to focus on gratitude and the small blessings that surround us, we can transform our perspective. Joy is a decision we can make with each new dawn, and this choice brings with it the ability to illuminate not only our lives but also the lives of those around us. Therefore, I encourage you to seek this joy daily. Remember that you are not alone in your struggles. By cultivating a grateful heart and focusing on what is good, you can rise above difficulties and inspire others to do the same. May the peace that surpasses all understanding accompany you with every step. May you receive a special blessing today. May the light of hope illuminate your path, guiding your thoughts toward joy and peace. If this message touched your heart, do not hesitate to share it with friends and family. Leave your like and subscribe to the channel for more content that nourishes your soul. In the comments, share with us, how have you found joy amid your struggles? Your experience could be the light someone else needs. Let's together spread this message of hope and faith.